Today, we're just going to get right into it. As your favorite talking head does his best to review another movie. That's right, I saw another movie on Cheap Day Tuesday. And that just happens to be Oppenheimer, which is out in theaters now and should make some money, but not as much as Barbie because I hope Barbie kills it. But I'm your host, Chris Humphrey, and for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm just another talking head doing my best to get my opinion out there because I think it should be out there. And I think you guys should go out there and see all these movies, watch all these television shows, and read all these books and listen to these songs. But today it just happens to be Oppenheimer. And if you saw my video the other day, you saw that I reversed the order because I wanted to see if the format sticks. So we're going to try that format again. To me, this movie is definitely a 9 out of 10. It's not perfect by any means, but there are some things that just make it not a perfect 10 and what makes it a 9, and that's what we're going to get at. First things first, I like to always do the bad, and in this case, there is only two things that I found slightly remotely wrong with it, and that is that it was long. And it had to be, because if you've ever read the book that it's based off of, which is a very fantastic read, came out in 2006, I believe. It was definitely a great read just out of high school. But uh, it glossed over half of his rich childhood because he came from a wealthy family, and to show you the man that he became to be and how smart he just happened to be. It tend to gloss over that. But that's really it. It was just a little long, and it glossed over about half of the book. All right. And that's why this movie was 3 hours long, because, well, that book, I don't know, I think it took me in total about 18 hours, which means about 18 days, because I usually only read about an hour a day back then. Um, but what I really liked about this film is I personally think this is Christopher Nolan's best film. Everybody I said that to probably slapped me. It's better than Inception. It's better than Memento. It's better than Interstellar. And bluntly, I said yes. But to the people that are expecting that kind of movie in this one are probably going to be disappointed because Tenet and all those movies that my friends liked are very action focused and deal with a lot of time travel. Now, this one deals with physicist stuff, and there is great time jumps in the movie that correspond with the book and correspond with real life that make it seem like it could be a great action film. But this happens to be Christopher Nolan's best movie with dialogue. Not once did I have to try and turn up the theater volume to 1,000 so I could hear what they're saying, because Christopher Nolan has this problem where he tends to make the dialogue sound like an ASMR sometimes, and then boom, 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 shots, right? And that, but he figured out how to balance that so well in this movie, and I think it helped that almost all of this movie was talking, and that's what made it great. It was actors getting to act, and that's what I really liked about it. Now, to the punks who didn't want to go see Barbie because they thought this would be a man's film, and then were disappointed because, well, they're kumquats, you're idiots. You should watch both films objectively and like both films because they both have different meanings. Uh, that's all I'm going to say about that. Those doofuses online, but the movie, the dialogue was so crisp. You hate all characters because you're supposed to. Oppenheimer's not a nice guy, not a good guy by any means, right? I think anybody who has an affair is there's something a little squirrely. Um, but the dialogue and the talking just made it so well. It was nice to see actors act again. When people ask me what I thought about it, if anybody who liked the movie 12 Angry Men, if which is probably one of my favorite movies when I was young. I love that movie. Phenomenal movie with great dialogue. Don't need any crazy action scenes, just actors acting. This is Christopher Nolan's 12 Angry Men. It's kind of the same. And you're going to be like, how the hell? You're going to be confused. But look at the premise of this movie and look at, if you watch this movie, you can see where I'm getting those comparisons from, especially when they're in a room being pressed and tortured, as I like to say, by people who don't, by people who think that what he did was wrong all of a sudden, even though he did something for America, the country that he was born in. But no, apparently it's all wrong. Oh, now all of a sudden. And in that scene, I felt like, wow, this is 12 Angry Men. Dialogue was great. That's where Emily Blunt stole the show, was in that scene as his wife. The smirk on the lawyer's face when they're asking questions and when that's happening, and she's given like the most perfect answers. I'm like, yeah, I can see everybody in that room smirking because Emily Blunt steals the show. Now we know she steals the show in everything she does because she's amazingly perfect, right? Better than that actor John Krasinski. Ugh. I mean, Emily Blunt is way better. Um, Again, that's personal opinion, but Emily Blunt was fantastic. Florence Pugh, Killian Murphy, holy hell, man, very good, very talented. I hope this gets him other roles. He's been great since 28 Days Later. I've been a fan of his. Peaky Blinders, you name it. He's great. He's great with Brown Eyes because he did have brown eyes in one movie, and he's great in Blue Eyes, which is his natural, and they're mesmerizing. But the other standout in this movie, there's two more, uh, Alden and RDJ. All right, Alden has to do his best to uh, kind of defend Strauss, but not kind of defend him. But seeing Robert Downey Jr.'s character growth throughout this film, and then it gets to that ending with the realization of what the hell's happening to him, phenomenal. And just seeing that character growth in that 3 hour film is what made it. Seeing the character growth of everybody is what made it, and seeing how shitty this Manhattan Project was and how shitty it was great because nobody's a hero in this movie. Nobody's a hero from this whole thing, right? Matt Damon did great. Every cast member did a great job. It looked like, again, they were having fun because they got to act and say dialogue that was so crisp and clean, and hearing Robert Downey Jr., man, that one scene near the end, I won't spoil too much, where Alden's telling him he's screwed, is just utter brilliance. And then, oh my god, I loved it. As you can tell, it's a 9. It's not perfect. Like, there is some inconsistencies, like not speaking Dutch, but speaking German when you're supposed to be speaking Dutch. Okay, all right, that's a historical inaccuracy, and we can overcome those maybe. But I want you guys to go out there and let me know if you think it is as good as I think it is. Let me know if you think my comparison of 12 Angry Men meets The Social Network as a film is way off base. But if you've seen 12 Angry Men, and yeah, that's right, I just threw in another comparison to The Social Network because that's what it kind of reminded me of. Great actors doing great dialogue. You don't need crazy car chase scenes. You do need a very beautiful testing of a bomb that, like, perfect. And it was so nice to see Christopher Nolan get his dialogue so I could hear it and not have to turn up the IMAX volume because I can never hear the words in his movies. I don't know what it is, but maybe he just needed a movie with heavy dialogue. This makes me want to see Christopher Nolan do a horror movie. Yeah, make him do a horror movie. That would be great. Be utterly terrifying, I think, and the dialogue would be so good. Maybe see him do a romance movie. Yeah, hey, Christopher Nolan romance movie. I'm thinking, yeah, everybody wants to see him do Bond and all that other crap, but great movie. I think it's the third best. As you can see, the rankings of the movies, it's just because Barbie was just a little more fun. I had a little more laughs. And John Wick, I don't think anybody's going to beat that because I like dumb action movies. That's just me. Let me know what you guys think of it down below. Let me know what you think of me down below. Let me know what you think of everything and all those doofuses online trying to compare Barbie and Oppenheimer. Great week for cinema. Great month this is going to be. Get out there and watch more. If I don't see you guys, play some of the score from Oppenheimer, but don't, because, I can't afford it. But producer, hit my music. Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite. Ciao.